Hello, everyone. Today, I want to gently share a question that has been on my mind. When we hear the words upper class, many of us immediately think of money. A beautiful house, an expensive car, designer clothes, wealth, status, and influential connections. And of course, having money can make someone appear upper class. But the deeper question is this: does having a lot of money automatically make someone truly upper class? Lately, I have been thinking about this often. A person who has a lot of money, and a person who carries the true attitude of the upper class, are not always the same. There are two books I would like to recommend. One is Habitus, and the other is The Birth of the Upper Class. Both books point us toward a similar idea. The upper class is not simply about wealth. Money is an important form of capital, but it is not everything. True refinement is formed through economic capital, social capital, cultural capital, and even moral capital. In simple words, not everyone with money has class. Not everyone in a high position is worthy of respect. True class is revealed not only by what a person has, but by how that person lives. Some people have great wealth, but they constantly try to prove themselves. They want to show how expensive their lifestyle is, how high their status is, how special they are. But strangely, that kind of display does not always feel truly elegant. Instead, we often sense real class in someone quieter, someone who does not need to show off, someone who does not treat weaker people carelessly, someone who uses their influence responsibly, someone whose presence feels calm, grounded, and dignified. To me, there are two essential qualities of true upper-class energy: responsibility and empathy. Responsibility means understanding that what we have affects others. Our words, our choices, our money, our status, and our influence all create ripples in the world. A responsible person does not speak carelessly. They do not consume carelessly. They do not treat people carelessly. Empathy means being able to see people who may be in a weaker position than ourselves, people who live in different circumstances, people who have less, people whose voices are softer, people whose lives may be easier to overlook. Wealth without empathy can feel cold, but wealth with empathy can heal people, strengthen relationships, and make society a little warmer. In traditional upper-class cultures in America and Europe, there has long been an idea that money is only money. Money alone does not guarantee status, dignity, or refinement. So true upper-class character does not end with earning a lot of money. It asks deeper questions. How will I use my wealth? How will I carry my position? In what direction will I allow my influence to flow? A person who asks these questions is much closer to true class. There is another important element as well: cultural capital. Cultural capital is not simply knowing luxury brands. It is knowing how to behave in different spaces. It is knowing how to respect others in conversation. It is having an understanding of art, history, and human life. It is being able to treat other people's stories and tastes with care. All of these things gather together and become a person's atmosphere. With money, you can buy expensive clothes, but you cannot buy true refinement overnight. With money, you may enter beautiful places, but the manners and depth that belong in those places must be cultivated over time. That is why I believe true class does not come from a full wallet, but from a spacious heart. A truly refined person does not try to be the only one shining. They brighten the space around them. They do not judge people carelessly. They are even more gentle toward those who may have less power than they do. They do not use success only to display themselves. They think about what their success can leave behind. Isn't that the real aura of the upper class? I believe that business leaders, politicians, and public figures should show this kind of attitude more often. Not just people who have more, but people who take more responsibility because they have more. Not just people in high places, but people who can still see those in lower places. When more people like that lead society, the dignity of the entire culture rises. But this is not only about people far away from us. We can live this way, too. Even without great wealth right now, we can begin living with dignity today. We can speak more warmly. We can respect people more deeply. We can keep learning. We can share even the small things we have. We can reflect on the influence our lives have on others. When these attitudes accumulate, a person begins to carry an atmosphere that cannot be explained by money alone. quiet but deep, soft but not easily shaken, gentle but centered. To me, that is the kind of woman who is truly attractive. An attractive woman is not simply a beautiful woman. She is not simply a wealthy woman. An attractive woman is someone who cultivates inner dignity, and that dignity does not need to be displayed loudly. It flows quietly, through her words, her choices, and her consideration. So today, let us remember this. Not everyone with money is upper class. True class belongs to those who have empathy, responsibility, and cultural refinement. The truly upper class are people whose hearts are wider than their wallets. Their dignity is not something they show off. It is something that quietly appears in the way they care for others. A truly refined person thinks less about what they own, and more about what they will leave behind. Let us become that kind of person. Someone who does not reject money, but never loses sight of values deeper than money. Someone who dreams of success, but also thinks about the responsibility that comes after success. Someone who does not only want to have more, but wants to become wider, warmer, and wiser. That, I believe, is the path toward true refinement. Today, I hope your inner world becomes a little stronger, a little more graceful, and a little warmer, because you are already someone who can choose a life of dignity.